Hello and um, good evening and welcome to my nameless channel. Sashidharan here. Um, it's not a very good day for talking about anything else other than the looming um, war or the big, huge attack that Trump has announced for tomorrow morning, India IST 8 o'clock. I mean 5 o'clock in the morning. About taking Iran to the Stone Ages. Um, God knows what this madman is going to do. He's going to kill a lot of innocent lives just to prove a point or just to save his face and save his friend's face. Um, they might even go and drop a nuclear bomb, uh, and then the whole world is going to suffer for a long time after he does something like that. So it's not and there are just some 10 hours left for that thing to happen. Uh, like everybody else, I too am. Uh, my anxiety levels are very high. My um, spirit is very low, and I feel really sad. Uh, but then life has to go on. I have committed myself to doing this every day as a therapy for getting better from my problems. So I will go ahead and go ahead with this talk. So today I want to talk about hypocrisy in Indian life. Um, I right from childhood, right from childhood, uh, in the society, parents have um, do not talk about so many things with the children, with their children. Teachers don't talk about a lot of things with the students, young students, little young, small kids. So uh, right from the beginning, um, we are taught to just um, um, pretend that we're taught to pretend that that life is nothing but pretense. Yeah. Mm, when the child is small, things that are not talked about is uh, they're not talked about when the parents don't talk about sex. They don't talk about death. They don't talk about illnesses. They don't talk about the uh, the dark realities of life. They don't talk about the fact that uh, human beings have been here only for a very few years compared to the life of this whole planet and this solar system and the Milky Way. We have been here for only for a few seconds. and we don't know what purpose we are here. There is no purpose actually. I mean, and those things are never talked about. I mean, it's they they keep all this under the rug, and the child grows up and he has to stumble his way into everything. Like he has to stumble his way into finding that there is something called sexual arousal that's going to happen, and then I would have to. Then the child has to deal with it himself or herself. Now it's better because these gadgets and all have come, and uh, the net is there, and so they can get some information from there, um, and the children are more open, and even parents have kind of opened up. But that's a very recent phenomenon. Otherwise, even now, 90% of the families in India do not talk about the real stuff with children, and also when they become adults, also these things are like they are treated like things that you it's best not to touch or not to talk about. Um, like you're supposed to just accept things. You're supposed to accept the religion and uh, religious rituals and sorry, uh, religious rituals, and you're supposed to just accept the fact that when they teach you a bit of Ramayana, Mahabharata. I'm talking about in the case of Hindus, when they teach us all those things in the very early years, uh, that they don't give any clarification whether they are epic stories or they actually happened, and they never talk about evidence about all these things. They don't tell the children that these are belief systems, uh, and they don't uh, they don't have the honesty to tell that yeah, we are doing this because it has been people have been doing it for centuries, and so we are just continuing that cultural tradition, and we just hope that there is something good about it, like the mother of the house does puja. I mean, of course, in the north, even the father of the house does. I mean, here also some houses, but mostly, I mean, my house at least, I have only seen my mom doing that daily evening puja, which is a very ritualistic thing. You just you just supposed to go there and light a lamp and put an agarbatti and incense stick, and then she would bow down to the god. There's always a god stand or uh, a god almira or some place where this thing is done every day, and uh, she would bow down to the picture, to the photograph of the god, and then she would apply uh, ash, vibhuti it's called. She would apply ash on her forehead, and then she would apply ash on the children's foreheads, and so that's it. That's the ritual which would be done every day. And my in my childhood, we had a very strange uh, um, what do you call it, combination of uh, normally religious mother, and of course she was also not very she was not very too much into religion and stuff. She never injected religion into me or my siblings and all that. But she was a regular. She did everything right, like one is supposed to. A Hindu woman is supposed to do the minimal stuff she used to always do. And I remember my mom would light this lamp, and then mom would come and there was a cot in that room, and which was my bedroom actually. And she would sit on that cot, and she would make me sit near her. My baby sister would be on her lap, or maybe pottering around, and then she would recite prayers, some prayers. It was always the same prayer. I think my mother only knew that prayer, and she would make me recite that after that, after her. Like, after every sentence she said, I have to repeat that, and we would be doing this. And meanwhile, my dad would come, and he would bring a cigarette, and he would light the cigarette from that same lamp. So I had to watch this and that, and process that whole thing when I was 5, 6, and all that. So and I didn't know how to question them and what to question them. And then so on one side, I used to feel that maybe what mom is doing is correct. There is something, if I pray to God, good things will happen, and I'll get better good marks, and I will and get to talk with Aarti Narang, who is the cutest girl in this class, and I would uh, I would get some books. I was always on the lookout for books to read, so I would get books, and maybe I would get um, those the needs were very simple those days. You didn't look for anything more than that. So there was nothing much available also, for children. And so I used to I developed this praying habit, in the sense, this thing which mom inculcated into me. I would, if I wanted something very badly, or the next day I was expecting something, some result, or or I was in need of something, I would, before going to bed, before, I mean, during that time I told you, when I would be reading in my bed, I would, after the reading was over, or before, I would look at this God's picture, and I would ask him stuff, like, whatever I wanted, like, oh God, I hope tomorrow the Sanskrit teacher does not hit me for not doing my homework, or this uh, physical education teacher does not make us uh, do those rounds of the ground too many times, or things like that. So that was the only thing religiously. That was the only thing which came to me. Like, there was somebody up there who was merciful enough to listen to your prayers, and maybe if possible, grant them. So 50% chance was there of him granting, because there's always 50% chance of everything. So I grew up in that household with this brain, a part of brain saying that this is a good thing. Praying might be helpful and all that. And on the other side, I saw my dad being so flippant about this whole thing. He would never stop my mom from doing all this, or argue about it, or and all that. But his demeanor was like, this was just a ritual. This is just a formality, and there's nothing more. So lighting the cigarette in that sacred lamp is not a big deal. I'm I'm actually saving on a matchstick. That would have been his logic, if I had asked him. But so this portion also was always there. That this small little space in my brain was telling me that, yeah, this need not be the truth. This mom's truth might not be the actual truth. There's a element of doubt. So that doubt crept in right from my childhood. But what I'm trying to say is that uh, religion was never discussed. I mean, the, it was not talked about. Um, we had to children had to just swallow whatever was happening, swallow all those rituals, and swallow all those pilgrimages that they took, and there was no uh, there was no consent, and there was no discussion about all those things. And then all that is another thing, which this hypocrisy, which was generational hypocrisy, I would call that, because it has been handed down from generations. Like, I could hear my parents um, complain or crib about a certain person very bitterly, and about a relative. My mom used to talk about her in-laws. She would be grumbling sometimes when dad was not around, or sometimes when he was around also. They would have, they would be talking about, they would be talking, they would be criticizing them, and um, like they would be, what is that? Mm, they would be gossiping about them, uh, about the negative things mostly about them. But and then those same people used to come to our house, and then I could see that my parents were had no uh, had no sign of those ill feelings they had towards those people. They would be treated so royally, and they would be treated so well. It was like, there was so much love, and they were totally connected, and they were like close, very very close. So the children, I'm sure all children go through this, that uh, this hypocrisy is normal. Like, um, you could have a have a face, or you could have bad feelings for people, and you might not like some people, but you have to keep up the pretense. And this also was an unresolved thing in my childhood. What happened? What the effect on the children? I'll tell you. The effect is that children take in all these negative things that they talk about a certain person, and then children being children, these things, they imbibe, and it stays there. And then when they grow up, they look at those people through those eyes. I could never have a very nice relationship with my father's side of the people, because I was listening to a lot of their negative stuff from my mom, and so I could always, I couldn't see them without that tinted those tinted glasses that I had acquired from my mom. And so that's another huge hypocrisy that we children acquire, or imbibe, or normalize in our life. We think that that's normal, that's the way things are. And number three is love. Love is something that is never discussed, never talked about, never mentioned. Uh, Love was something um, that was there only in the movies and stories, and maybe the might no, epics, and in the fictional area, they were supposed to be stuff imagined. You can have imaginations and all that, but love as a very important thing in a family is never talked, is never expressed also. I don't remember my parents ever hugging me. I think hugging and all, by the time the child becomes aware, self-aware, the hugging stops. And I had to go through my whole childhood without hugging. So I developed what do you call it, an aversion to hugging. I don't feel comfortable hugging people or people hugging me, and that's because of this childhood. Because again, hypocrisy. Okay, there's love. They show they show their love in getting you. I mean, giving you education, giving you the best possible life. They do all that. They did all that. I mean, they still do, but love is not talked about. Um, the mother does not tell the children that uh, I'm there for you. I'll be there. Whatever happens, or I love you with all my heart, and I will do anything for you. Uh, so even mothers not saying this, then you can think of fathers were all those days, all of them were alpha type people. They were supposed to be behave like that. They were supposed to be stiff, and they were supposed to be cold, and they were supposed to be fatherly, meant being very aloof, not talking much, and smoking cigarettes all the time, which was also very much part of the alpha male psyche that these people had inherited from their parents, or developed watching God knows what. But that was the fathers we used to have. I rarely, yeah, there were some exceptions. There was this uncle of mine who would tell us a lot of stories. He was a storyteller, so I used to like him because of that. But after the stories, he would go back to being his, the actual, a normal father of those days. Stiff, strict, um, mm, no show of any emotion. I had never seen my father cry ever in my life. Yeah, I think I saw him cry when the doctors told him that he had very little time to live. Uh, and that day I walked into his room. I had gone somewhere outside. I came back. I wasn't there when the doctor had announced this. My mother had to take in that news with him because he wanted the facts. He didn't want any. Right from the beginning, he wanted all the facts out there in the open. He didn't want any. He didn't want anyone to. And I wouldn't. He wouldn't have liked to not know, or hide these things from him. He was that kind of a guy. So everything was told to him, and as I walked into his room and I looked at him, he was there with mom, and mom was trying to put a brave face, but I saw tears in his eyes. And the eyes were red, and I could see sadness and fear, um, and I could see emotions, which was a rare thing those days. Men were not supposed to show their vulnerabilities. They were not supposed to show their softer side. their love, their um, fears, their doubts. They're not supposed to. They were not supposed to express all that, or they're not supposed to even have all those things in the head. So the child grows up with uh, with no idea about real life. No idea about love being such an important thing, um, and no idea about sadness and grief and fear. No idea about the finality of death. Um, you know, these things are not talked about. So the children also um, do the same thing, because children copy the elders. So children also think that these things are best not talked about. So he brushes all these things. He brushes his sexual feelings, his arousals, his feelings towards other sex, other gender, and he doesn't talk about that. He does not talk about the fact that his classmate died of cancer, and what is death. He doesn't ask, and neither these parents give give a good idea about all those things. So the child also feels it best and safest to not talk about all these things, though it all remains in the background. All these not talked about stuff. It creates problems later. A person, a child who has not been shown love, you know, not been um, loved with words and with touch, hug, and all those things, and assurances. Um, and a child, if you have raised a child without doing giving all those things, uh, it stays there and it affects the child later. And similarly about death, disease, death, pain, grief, all these things. If you try to not talk about them, and or talk in a hypocritical manner, to just console the child, like you die and go to heaven and you meet your grandparents or something like that, or if you pray hard, you won't get any illnesses, and even if you have some illness, you have been a good person. We are all good people, so nothing will happen. You'll come out of it. And these kinds of things are told instead of actual facts. The actual truth, that this is life and there's death, and there are so many things in between, and there are pleasures, and there are risks involved, and uh, there is chances of illnesses. There's a chance of losing people you love early. Then there is grief which affects you, and then you come out of that. Uh, these things are so important psychologically for the growing child to learn, or to hear from the most uh, credible people he has: father, mother, maybe the teachers in the mm, you know Uh, so this hypocrisy becomes part of our life later. As you grow older, uh, you never talk about the boy never talks about his sexual urges. He wants to talk to a girl, and then he wants to maybe hug her or kiss her. Even at 15, 16, I'm talking. I mean, those days. I mean, now it's different. Things are changing now, but things have changed in the sense that the boys and girls who are 15, 16 are going ahead um, and experimenting. Yeah, that is happening, but even there, they are doing it with a lot of guilt because it's not talked about. Once the parents start talking about sex and make it a very normal thing, then they won't have any guilt about getting close to a girl or a boy and kissing or experimenting with sex, which uh, all human beings should start at 15 or 16 at least. That's the healthy age to start experiencing intimacy, experiencing sexual pleasure. Uh, but because of this hypocritic upbringing that we have, uh, we and even now, there's a lot of guilt attached with um, uh, getting having a boyfriend or having a relationship or going out with the person or going for a date, and all those things are still things that the the um, what do you call sanskari people like to not talk about. I mean, it's all happening. The parents know it's happening, but the parents won't talk about it because they still want to keep up the pretense of, oh, my child is a virgin, or my son has never touched a girl. He's like pure, like Rama and Sita. That kind of thing they still want to maintain. Again, you're just increasing this hypocritical pressure on the next generation. Why not just at least now, why not talk about all those things openly and accept them as normal things, normal stuff. I uh, um, and then there is, of course, this religion, question of religion. I have always wondered why parents do not talk openly about religion, so that the child is aware of what he's getting into. The child does not just wade into it. Wading into it is dangerous, right? Like then he would have to switch off his critical thinking faculty. That would be like wading into a cult with the parents. So to avoid that, parents should have a very long talk, whether the parent is a believer or not. The parent should tell the child or teach the child about religion, because religion is such an important thing in a country like India. Religion is the most important thing. It's part of your identity. It's part of culture. It's part of everything here. And so, it isn't. Won't it be better if the child in its formative years, the parents tell them openly about religion, and allow the child to think and decide for himself when he or she reaches that age, 15, 16, 17, or whatever, when he is when he has when he can really uh, think critically about all these things and take a decision which way to go, whether to be religious or not to not be religious, or be just religious to be part of society, to part of the family. Just do the rituals for their sake. You can choose that also, and you don't need to have that in your head. That in your head you might not have any religion, but for the family's sake, you could just go about doing those rituals for keeping them happy. You can do that also. That's also a choice the child can make, but that individual has to make that choice. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, about sex. If the parents tell them everything, uh, including they should talk about their own sex life also. Here in my experience, in the experience of all children I know, uh, our children, when they grew up and became aware, and they just uh, assumed that we elders, our sex life was over. Like, we there was no need for privacy, or there was no need for any intimacy between us at all. And that again is because we have never, even us, we have never talked about it, about the importance of intimacy. uh, we have not talked about that openly. So they also just take it for granted that, oh yeah, these people are boomers. Why should they have a private life, or intimacy, or intimate life, and all that? And they don't even they have they don't even feel like um, uh, giving us some time together. uh, uh, I'm sure that's just not in my family. It's the same thing in most Indian families. The children just take the elders for granted, and they decide that, that these people have outgrown romance and love and intimacy and all that. And that's a bad thing, that's a really bad thing, because intimacy is important till the day you die. uh, Emotional intimacy, physical intimacy, is a need for every human body, for every human mind, every human being alive. uh, that need for that does not go away. The need for people to be intimate with them, be close emotionally, physically. You want to be touched till the last moment. You want human touch, and that's part of intimacy, right? It's all one big chain, right from the child wanting a hug till a dying person wanting somebody to hold his hand. It's the same thing. It's a need for contact with another human being. The need is very much, the need being there because uh, of the fact that you know that this is a very limited period that you are going to have where you have met another, you met other people, and this would end. Either that person would go first, or you would go first, or you would both would go together, and that's it. That's end of the contact. So the importance of contact is not at all uh, taught, or it's not um, practiced by the elders. So the young ones in the next generation also doesn't get that, and so sex becomes a thing that is to be done for pleasure, and uh, for feeling good, feeling like a man or like a woman. Nowadays, they talk about body count. That's such a sick thing. I mean, people boasting about how many people they have slept with, and it's taken a very horrible turn. Uh, this we did not teach them, or we did not give them this importance of intimacy and the importance of contact, and they picked up all kinds of crap from all around, and they are into very wild stuff nowadays. Very shallow wild stuff, very dangerous also. I mean, how did we go from here to there? I mean, yeah, that was natural, I think, because there was no authenticity taught to them, or they didn't see authenticity in their parents. Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. That you know, the marriage, the marriage also is a big farce. The marriage is just a union of two families, generally the arranged marriage and all those things, and uh, there also I find that at least till our generations after mine, I mean, like the millennials and all, they are better, I think. I'm not sure, but I find this thing there also in that generation also, because of course they learn from us, and they have learned from they learned at bits and pieces from the net, and they have tried to improve themselves to be better than us. But this thing remains that uh, there is um, there is lack of uh, honest interaction uh, between partners, um, which was in our generation. Yeah, we didn't talk about sex. We didn't talk about the pleasure about it. We didn't talk about the intimacy. We didn't explore each other, or we didn't try to mm, you know uh, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that it was something that was done in the night for some pleasure, and that was it. This thing that this discussion, that what is giving you pleasure, and what could I do differently, or um, where where am I going wrong, or uh, should I do something, or uh, all those things are never talked about. So what happens is, again, there is sexual frustration uh, among married people. um, I'm sure things like partial impotence, or impotence, or um, mm, the woman not having uh, the uh, sexual attraction towards that particular person and being frigid, and um, uh, the one of the partners not getting the emotional intimacy, which results in bad sexual intimacy. All those things are never talked, are never discussed by the partners. There is that the priority is not there at all for all those things. It's like, okay, let's adjust. Okay, if this is not working, this might work, and let's carry on like that. That's okay. I can live with this. And so there are unfulfilled desires, unfulfilled fantasies, unfulfilled intimacy people have, and then this takes a very dangerous uh, or problematic route when they find other partners at work or outside or social media, and then they try to live out those fantasies, or they try to get those things that they didn't get from their partners, from outside, from elsewhere, from other people, and um, then the whole thing becomes a farcical marriage, and then they name it open marriage nowadays. If both partners are okay with it, and that I find very unhealthy, very dangerous, very uh, a huge problem which has been going on, and it's a generational thing. We have passed it on to our children, and uh, I uh, I worry about them because I don't want them to suffer what we have suffered. Uh, I, I I appreciate the West in these matters, where um, when you have you talk out everything, you discuss everything, and then decide that okay, it's the marriage is not working. Let's separate, and let's try out again somewhere. This is not working. We tried and it's not working. It's all right. It's good for both of us that we um, go on and um find what we want from life, from intimacy, from the other partner. I mean, if I'm not getting it from you, let me try and let us split, and let us try again with somebody else. And so they go through divorces, and they go through multiple relationships, multiple marriages. I think that's the way it should be. That's the natural way. Uh, Otherwise, you are just you're just you're just you're just living in your own prison. You are just you're just allowing yourself to be stuck, and to go through life without those things that matter actually. Your your uh, inner self wants so many things that that you're not getting, but you decide to compromise with all those things, and you have two unhappy lives living together, and it's a mess. I find most Indian marriages to be farcical, uh, um, and they just stick on together because they have been together for a long time, and they don't want to take the risk of living this setup, this family setup, and then trying out another relationship or another another family or another life. It's not easy. It's not easy in a place like India. It's very difficult to restart life in the middle or in the late stages. You won't find the partners. You won't find the jobs necessary. You might not even be in a position to set up a house or have a house for yourself. Whether you are a man or a woman, you would have made a house of, that's the one thing that all middle class or aspiring people, or everybody for that matter, once they marry and have kids, they want a house to call their own. And so most people only have one house, and it's some one of them has to leave that house. And then what? Then there's huge big question mark about finding another life, finding another partner, finding another house, finding another livelihood or job or whatever. So uh, you make do with whatever is there, and you carry on. uh, and I have known couples who have, um, as they grew old, the younger one, mostly the woman, yeah, the woman is always younger in the marriage. The younger one has still got a lot of life left, and the man usually becomes sick and dies fast because women are stronger. Their lifespan is longer. They get less of heart diseases and lifestyle diseases and all those things. And so most of the places, the man dies first, and then I see the woman living uh, living a very nice life after that. She lives the life that she wanted to live after that. It's like freedom for them. It's like liberation. And then they go about doing things that they always wanted to, but compromise because of the um, partner not liking it. And so when you look at the whole thing, it looks like, the man and the woman were in a were in a uh, um, what do you call it, bear hug, or a or a or locked up space. They uh, they uh, they did not, they just adopted that prison and continued living for 30, 40, 50 years, and did not enjoy the things that they individually wanted to, or did not have the intimacy that they would have wanted otherwise. They did not have they compromised on so many things. And yeah, so you that's because of, again, hypocrisy. We lead a very hypocritical married life. We raise children with a lot of hypocrisy poured into them. We teach them this art of being a hypocrite. We continue that in our work. Our workplaces are also full of people, full of bosses who want yes men, loyal men. They don't want people who would question the boss. And so the hypocrisy continues in work. And And there is the hypocrisy defines a normal Indian's life from birth to death. I know many families, could be even most families, Indian families, when the elders in the house get cancer, the first thing they do is stop talking about cancer. They just assume that this old person, man or woman, would just crumble, and they are not strong enough. So we should protect them from this truth. And the stories are told to them that no, it's just some small minor issue. You just have ulcer or something. It'll be operated. And the doctor is also told not to disclose this to the patient. And you know, even in the last stages of your life, you are living a lie. People die without even knowing what they suffered. That's the level of hypocrisy in our lives. And what can you say? Uh, um, uh, so that's it for today. I think I was a little rough or crude today. I know, because this is a topic which is very uh, close to my heart, but I've never organized my thoughts around this. So I just blurted whatever came to my mind. But the main thing is that uh, hypocrisy is the Indian's bane. Hypocrisy makes us not look at facts and figures and truth. There's this phrase going on. I read it somewhere, and I found it to be so true. We are a nation afflicted with toxic positivity, and that those two words define Indians, because that's the end result of being a hypocrite all your life. When you don't want to confront the truth, when you don't want to tell the truth openly, you don't discuss about the truth, so you are habituated to looking at only the bright side, or creating a bright side uh, in your imagination, and accepting that. And then in the end, what happens is we are in a delusional state. This toxic positivity is nothing but a state of delusion. That's the that's a core characteristic of a cult member. People who join cults become like this. They have this toxic positivity, uh, and that's so dangerous. That's going to ruin us all, ruin this country, because if you don't have the guts, um, if you don't have the courage to face facts, how will you correct yourself? How will you correct what you are doing wrong? How will you improve? How will you evolve? How will you stop making mistakes? When you keep saying that there is no mistake, when you don't accept that there are mistakes, there are problems, there are huge issues, when you don't even want to talk about them. So yeah, toxic positivity. That is one fantastic phrase somebody came out with for Indians of Indians, especially of today. Yeah, I should add that. Uh, all and all these things have come together and brought us to this place. Okay, I hope tomorrow morning 5 o'clock nuclear bomb doesn't go off in Iran, and uh, hmm, there are going to be bombs dropped, I'm sure. I Let's hope minimum innocent lives are lost, and let's hope people uh, are sane again, and resist this mad guy or mad leaders. All of them are a bunch of them are mad uh, and destructive and psychopaths. So let's hope uh, I am able to do this thing tomorrow also. Yeah, let's hope. Bye.